Challenger 1. Challenger 1. The FV4030/4 Challenger 1 is a British main battle tank, MBT, used by the British Army from 1983 to 2001, when it was superseded by the Challenger 2. The majority of the Challenger 1 fleet was subsequently sold to Jordan, where it remained in service with the Royal Jordanian Army until withdrawals were announced in 2018. Known locally as Al Hussein, these vehicles received various Jordanian modifications before being replaced by French-made Leclerc tanks from the UAE and ex-Italian B-1 Centauro 8x8 wheeled tank destroyers. The Jordanian Challenger 1 fleet had been retired by January 2023. History. The Challenger, designed by the former Military Vehicles and Engineering Establishment, MVEE, near Chobham in Surrey, originated in an Iranian order for an improved version of the Chieftain line of tanks in service around the world. These were the Chieftain Mk5, P, FV4030/1, FV4030/2 Shir, Lion, 1 and 4030/3 Shir 2. With the fall of the Shah of Iran and the collapse of the UK MBT-80 project, the British Army became the customer, and the tank was further developed by MVEE to meet Western European requirements. For a short time the tank was named Cheviot, the name of a hill range, before becoming Challenger, a name reused from the Cruiser Mk VIII Challenger tank of World War II. The most advanced aspect of the Challenger 1 design was its Chobham armor, which gave protection far superior to any monolithic rolled homogeneous armor, RHA, then standard of Western tank armor material. This armor was later adopted by other designs, including the American M1 Abrams. Additionally, the hydropneumatic suspension provided outstanding cross-country performance through the long suspension arm travel and controlled bump and rebound behavior offered. The Challenger was built by the Royal Ordnance Factories, ROF. Challenger 1 entered service with the British Army in 1983 and production ceased in 1990 at a cost of around £2 million each. In 1986, ROF Leeds, and the Challenger production line, was acquired by Vickers Defence Systems, later Alvis Vickers. The Ministry of Defence was keen to show off the capabilities of the Challenger 1 in the Canadian Army Trophy competition, CAT 87, held at Grafenwöhr, West Germany, in June 1987. The best performing team in preparatory competitions had been the 2nd Royal Tank Regiment, although its Challengers had not been fitted with thermal observation and gunnery sight, TOGs, which would put them at a disadvantage. The Royal Hussars had a squadron fitted with TOGs. However, they had been training at Betis in Canada with Chieftains, instead of training with Challenger and TOGs for CAT 87. 22 new Challengers with TOGs were specially diverted from the production line for the competition, resulting in teething problems. At the competition itself, the Hussars managed some creditable scores, but overall, their 3 platoons were placed last in the league table. In a statement to the House of Commons on July 14, Ian Stewart, the Minister of State for the Armed Forces, said, "I do not believe that the performance of tanks in the artificial circumstances of a competition, such as the recent Canadian Army Trophy, is a proper indication of their capability in war." Following poor results in 1985 with Chieftain, and in 1987 with Challenger, the British Army decided in December 1987 to withdraw indefinitely from the competition. A requirement for a new MBT was later issued. Proposals put forward for the new specification included an improved Challenger from Vickers, the American M1 Abrams, the French Leclerc, and the German Leopard 2. The Vickers Defence Systems design, designated Challenger 2, was eventually selected. This tank is significantly more capable than its predecessor. Based on the same basic MVE designed hull, it features a new turret based on the Vickers private venture Mk7 design and improved Chobham armor. Withdrawals of British Army Challenger 1 began in 1998, and it had been completely replaced by Challenger 2 by 2001. The bulk of these vehicles were exported to Jordan, see below, with around 20 vehicles retained for testing, development, and museum display. There was also a Challenger Marksman SPAG version, equipped with the Marksman turret. Operational service. In 1990, in preparation for Operation Granby, the UK operation in the First Gulf War, 221 Challenger 1 tanks were deployed to Saudi Arabia. This deployment originally consisted of the 7th Armoured Brigade, consisting of 2 armoured regiments, the Queen's Royal Irish Hussars and the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, both equipped with 57 of the latest Mark III version of the Challenger 1. They were modified for desert operations by a Iranian team and civilian contractors at the quayside in Al Jubail, Saudi Arabia. This fit included additional Chobham armor along the hull sides and explosive reactive armor (ERA) on the nose and front glassy plate. Modifications also included the provision of extra external fuel drums and a smoke generator. There were major concerns about the reliability of the vehicle. Before the commencement of the Gulf War deployment, only 22% of Challenger 1s were operational because of faults and lack of spares. In addition, there were serious worries about how a tank designed to perform in temperate climates would stand the rigors of desert warfare. On November 22, 1990, it was decided to add the 4th Armoured Brigade to the force, under the umbrella of 1st UK Armoured Division. The new brigade had a single Challenger regiment, 14th/20th King's Hussars, equipped with 43 Challenger 1 tanks and reinforced by a squadron of the Life Guards. They were equipped with the Mark II version of the tank, which was upgraded by armoring the storage bins for the 120mm charges as well as the additional armor fitted to the Mark III. During Operation Desert Shield, it was decided that the 1st UK Armored Division would be placed under the command of the US 7 Corps. This corps would form the armored fist of the coalition forces, tasked with destroying the bulk of the Iraqi forces. The forces of 7 Corps crossed the Saudi border into Iraq and then crossed into Kuwait. The 1st UK Armored Division was the easternmost unit in 7 Corps' sector, its Challenger tanks forming the spearhead of the advance. The division advanced nearly 350 kilometers within 97 hours, destroying the Iraqi 46th Mechanized Brigade, 52nd Armored Brigade and elements of at least 3 infantry divisions belonging to the Iraqi 7th Corps in a series of battles and engagements. They captured or destroyed about 300 Iraqi tanks and a very large number of armored personnel carriers, trucks, reconnaissance vehicles, etc. Patrick Cordingley, the British commander of 7th Armored Brigade, said later that Challenger is a tank built for combat and not competitions. The main threat to the Challenger was deemed to be the Iraqi Republican Guards T-72M tanks. Each British tank was provided with 12 L-2601 Jericho depleted uranium (DU) shells specifically for use against T-72MS, but during the course of the coalition's ground campaign none were encountered as the division was withdrawn beforehand. After the Gulf War, Challenger 1 tanks were also used by the British Army in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Operation Joint Guardian, the NATO-led drive into Kosovo. Challenger 1 gunnery. In action, the Global Positioning System, GPS, and Thermal Observation and Gunnery System, TOGS, fitted to Challenger 1 proved to be decisive when engaging the enemy, allowing attacks to be made at night, in poor visibility and through smoke screens. During the First Gulf War, British Challengers destroyed roughly 300 Iraqi tanks without suffering a single loss in combat. There are multiple accounts of Challenger 1 tanks successfully engaging and destroying targets at exceptionally long ranges, while in excess of the L-11A5 main gun's expected operational range of 1,200 meters. On February 26, 1991, a Challenger 1 under the command of Captain Tim Purbrick of the 17th/21 St Lancers attached to the Queen's Royal Irish Hussars, destroyed an Iraqi T-55 tank at a range of 3,600 meters. Followed soon after by a petrol tanker at a range of 4,700 meters using L-23A1 APF-SDS Fin rounds with tungsten, nickel, copper penetrators. That same day, a tank of the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, callsign 11B, engaged and destroyed an Iraqi tank at a range of 5,100 meters using AL-26A1 APF-SDS with a depleted uranium penetrator. This is believed to be the distance record for a successful tank-on-tank, direct-fire, kinetic round engagement. Challenger Armored Repair and Recovery Vehicle, CRARV. In 1985, the UK MOD ordered a derivative armored recovery vehicle from Vickers Defence on the Challenger 1 hull. 80 vehicles were delivered to the British between 1988 and 1993, with 4 more later delivered to Oman. CRARs have subsequently been upgraded to use the updated Challenger 2 powertrain consisting of a CV12-5C/6C engine with TN54E transmission. CRARs were first deployed in action to support Challenger 1 tanks in the lead-up to the first Gulf War, Operation Granby in 1991. They were subsequently deployed during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, Operation Telek in 2003. An unspecified number of CRARs are to be donated to Ukraine alongside a squadron of Challenger 2 tanks in 2023.